Is launching a token on MetaDAO actually worth it? Because MetaDAO is very different from most token launch models. A few tokens have already launched on MetaDAO. Some of them performed really well, some didn't. And that's exactly why this question matters.
Because here, the community controls the treasury, the team starts with 0 tokens, and in extreme cases, the community can even liquidate the project. So the outcome depends entirely on understanding how this model works and is it a right fit for your project. In this video, we will break it down properly. What MetaDAO is, how the launch process works, what happened with the past launches, and whether this model actually makes sense for founders. Let's start with the basics. MetaDAO is a token launch and governance platform built on Solana, but it's not a typical launchpad. The core idea behind MetaDAO is something called a ownership coin. Instead of launching a token where most of the supply is controlled by insiders, the goal is to launch a token where most of the supply is widely owned by the community from day one. The platform focuses on three main principles: fair launches, community ownership, and market-based governance. Projects raise funds directly from the community through an ICO. The treasury created from that raise isn't controlled by the team. It is controlled by the community by market governance. But it's important to understand that the team doesn't lose control over the product. The team still builds the product. They still take day-to-day decisions. The community mainly controls token minting, treasury spending, and major financial decisions that affect token value. So the builders build and markets govern the token. The token launch process on MetaDAO follows a structured ICO model. The team applies to launch on the platform. MetaDAO usually accepts early stage projects which have a working product and some early users and traction. Once approved, the projects prepare for the ICO. The ICO runs for 4 days. Anyone can commit USDC for the ICO. There are no allocation or whitelist limits. During the raise, the funds are escrowed. If the project fails to reach the minimum raise target, all of the funds are refunded back to the investors. And if the minimum is reached, the team sets the final cap. For example, if $80 million got committed for a $6 million minimum raise, and then the team decides to cap the raise at $8 million, then the $8 million goes to the treasury and the rest $72 million gets refunded to the investors pro rata. The token price is simply the raised amount divided by the number of tokens allocated for the ICO. The tokenomics template used by most MetaDAO token launches looks like this. 10 million tokens are allocated for the ICO. These tokens are unlocked 100% at the TGE. About 2.9 million tokens, along with 20% of the raised amount, are used to seed the liquidity pools. Typically, out of these 2.9 million tokens, 2 million tokens go to the MetaDAO's Futarchy AMM, and the rest of the tokens, 900k tokens, go to a Meteora liquidity pool. The team allocation works very differently here. The team starts with 0 tokens. Up to 12.9 million tokens can be minted for the team if the token hits specific price targets. These tokens unlock in 5 equal tranches at 2x, 4x, 8x, 16x and 32x the ICO price. Each milestone uses a 3-month time-weighted average price, and there is at least an 18-month lockup period for the team from the ICO date. So if the token never performs, the team will never get any tokens. Another important mechanism is bid wall. A part of funds from the raise are used to create a bid wall that lasts for 90 days after the launch. This allows token holders to sell their tokens back to the protocol at the project's net asset value per token. When the tokens are sold into the bid wall, they are burned. This reduces the circulating supply. And if any funds are remaining in the bid wall after 90 days of the ICO, they are returned to the treasury. As much as I observed from the past launches, bid wall is optional. Some founders choose to include it and some don't. MetaDAO governance works through a system called Futarchy. Instead of regular voting, the decisions are made through prediction markets. Here's how it works. If someone wants to propose something like spending treasury tokens or minting new tokens, they create a proposal by staking a specific amount of the project's tokens. Two markets are then created, one for pass and one for fail. Traders buy or sell these shares depending whether they believe the proposal will increase the value of the token or not. After a set period of time, the market prices of pass and fail shares are compared. If the pass market has a higher time-weighted average price than the fail market, the proposal executes automatically. Otherwise, the proposal fails. This means decisions are driven by market incentives, not voting power. However, the project team still receives a monthly operational budget that doesn't require governance approval. Governance is only required for larger spending, minting new tokens, or major financial decisions. Product development itself stays with the team. Several projects have already launched on MetaDAO. Let's look at three of the biggest raises. First is Solomon Labs. The Solo token raised $8 million in total from MetaDAO ICO, but during the raise, over $100 million was committed. This showed great demand for the ownership coin model. The Solo token is currently 7% down from its ICO price, but it has performed really well initially after the ICO. Second project is Ranger Finance. Ranger Finance also raised $8 million, but this token became famous for a different reason. A group of token holders later proposed liquidating the treasury. They argued that the team has misinterpreted key business metrics. The Futarchy markets concluded that liquidation will increase the token's value. The proposal passed. Around $5 million from the treasury and liquidity pools was returned to the token holders at a price of 82 cents per token, which is 2.5% higher than the ICO price of 80 cents. This demonstrated one of the MetaDAO's core idea. If the market loses trust in the team, the capital can be recovered. The third project is a VC. They raised around $3.5 million from MetaDAO. A VC is still operating smoothly under Futarchy governance with their product live with real usage. Also, a VC is so far the best performing token launched on MetaDAO, currently sitting at a price 2.3x from the ICO price, and at its peak, it was almost 21.7x from the ICO price. The project has an active community, ongoing governance discussions, and some scrutiny towards the team, which shows both the transparency and pressure that comes with the model. Now let's talk about the advantages and risks of launching a token on MetaDAO. Let's start with the advantages. First, fundraising can be easier for early stage projects because many crypto communities prefer fair launches over VC heavy token distribution. Second, the treasury structure gives a predictable runway to founders. Instead of spending everything at the launch in listings and marketing and then selling the treasury tokens to acquire runway, founders get a controlled monthly budget, which in my opinion is the biggest benefit for founders of launching a token on MetaDAO. Third, launches on MetaDAO often attract highly engaged communities and potential users because participants are not just buyers, they are effectively early owners of the protocol. But there are also some real trade-offs in the ownership coin model. Founders lose flexibility over token distribution. Large airdrops, strategic allocations, and incentive programs are harder to implement. Second, founder rewards entirely depend on the token performance. If the token never performs, the team never gets their token allocation. Third, the community can even liquidate the treasury, as the Ranger Finance case showed. While this protects token holders, it also means that founders must constantly maintain market trust. In short, founders have to trade off the flexibility and control over the token for predictable runway and community support. MetaDAO works best for the teams that are comfortable with the idea that the community controls the token completely. Because if the market loses confidence, the community can propose liquidation and return the treasury to holders. So this model fits the projects that are okay with that level of accountability. More specifically, MetaDAO works well for projects where the token is a tool to bootstrap the business and to democratize the governance. Where MetaDAO usually doesn't work well is for projects which hugely depend on flexible token distributions. For example, projects that want to give big airdrops, emission-based reward systems, and strategic allocations to partners or investors. Those kind of token designs require a lot of flexibility in how the tokens are distributed and emitted, and MetaDAO deliberately restricts that flexibility. That said, MetaDAO doesn't restrict token utility. The token can still be used for access gating the product. Protocols can still do buybacks and burn from the revenue. Tokens can still be used as platform fee. What generally doesn't work well here are arbitrary token emissions, such as staking rewards and reward programs that emit new tokens continuously. MetaDAO is not simply a launchpad. It is an experiment redesigning how crypto startups raise money and govern tokens. For some founders, this model can create strong alignment between the team, the community, and the market. And for some founders, it might feel too restrictive. The real question isn't whether MetaDAO is good or bad. The real question is whether your token design matches the model you are launching with. If you found this video useful, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. This is Jatin signing off. See you in the next one. Till then, keep building.